This is not financial advice, not legal advice, for entertainment, educational purposes only. And anything I say is my opinion. Please don't make any financial decision based on anything I say in these videos. Double check you're still subscribed to the channel. Double check your notifications are on. And if you hit that like button, double check it's working properly, because these criminals are doing everything in their power to suppress the channel, because they don't want more people becoming aware of all the fraud and corruption in the United States stock market. Listen, everyone knows by now that the USA bombed Iran's 3 nuclear sites, okay? And everybody everybody felt that it would have a detrimental effect on the market. And I thought that it would have a real effect on the futures. And I said at 6 o'clock today, 6 p.m. on Sunday, we would get an idea of how impactful this would be on the market. And I'm going to tell you guys something. The futures market is down a little, but nothing of any significance whatsoever. I mean, no real significance. It was like down like half of 1% or some nonsense like that at the time of this recording. And then oil prices, they were up a little, but nothing of any real significance. And I'm going to tell you guys why I think it's not having a real negative effect on the market right now. Okay, and of course, it's the futures market, and we didn't get the pre-market yet at 8 p.m. But here's the thing. Iran is not in a real position to do anything. Okay? And of course, they're talking about they're going to, shut down the Strait of Hormuz, and they're not going to let the tankers through. But I was thinking about it even further, and I'm thinking that the USA might allow that to happen, because that would have a negative effect on China. Because China, a majority of China's oil comes through the strait. So that would have a negative effect on China before it had a negative effect on the United States of America, directly anyway. But Iran is really not in a position to do anything. They will scream, they will threaten, but what can Iran really do to the United States of America? Nothing of any real significance. And I believe, and this is just my opinion, if they attack a U.S. installation in the Middle East, it would probably get very ugly for Iran. The targets would not just be their nuclear sites. The targets would get a lot more personal. And I've said this multiple times before. When it comes to the military, when it comes to war, the United States of America has no equal on this planet. I don't know what's going on in outer space, but on planet Earth, the United States does not have an equal. China tries to act like they're the equal. Russia tries to act like they're the equal, but they are not. They are not. They and they know it. They might talk a big game and act like they're ready to go to war, that they're ready for a fight, but they're not ready for a real straight out fight with the United States of America, and everybody knows it. And Iran is even a smaller opponent on the totem pole. So while Iran is going to talk a lot and threaten a lot, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I'm not telling you to buy, hold, or sell any stock, buy, hold, or sell any crypto. Iran's not going to do anything of any significance, and I believe that is why the market hasn't really shifted that much. But we really won't see the real impact until probably 9:30 on Monday morning. But what is Iran going to do? Huff and puff? That's probably about it. And Not saying they can attack like U.S. installations in the Middle East, but if they do, the repercussions are gonna be out of control, and they know it, and they know it. But I do believe, and this is just my opinion, the bad actors are using this bombing to manipulate crypto, especially manipulate XRP down, so they can build out their position at lower prices. And if it goes under 190, I will be picking up a whole lot more. And I can sit on the sidelines and wait. Of course, there's no pressure on me whatsoever. They can do what they want with XRP. They can push it down all they want. I personally believe that in the arena where XRP works, there is no substitute. And in the short term, they'll be able to push it down. But like I've told you guys in previous videos, they can rob and steal from retail investors, pension funds, and institutions that follow the rules. And the SEC, the DOJ, and the FBI will do absolutely nothing. But once the XRP spot ETFs are approved, and then you got BlackRock, you got Fidelity, you got Charles Schwab, you got the big dogs, the 1%ers into XRP. Once they got those XRP ETFs and the 1%ers' money's at risk, all of a sudden, a majority of the fraud and corruption is gonna slow down. I'm not saying it's gonna stop entirely, but they're not gonna take that many risks manipulating XRP if the 1%ers lose money, because they know if they get caught, the SEC, the DOJ, and the FBI will come down hard on them. Anyway, please leave some comments. Tell me what you think. Why do you think the futures market isn't doing terrible, or oil prices haven't spiked because of the USA bombing Iran? Anyway, have a great day. God bless, and I appreciate y'all on this journey with me.